Hey, I'm John Coley with Lake Martin Voice Realty, and here are 3 mistakes that I see for sale by owner sellers doing right now in Lake Martin. But before I say them, let me just say this. I understand why, as an owner, you would want to sell your own house right now at Lake Martin because the market is absolutely going crazy. One person told me it's as high as Snoop Dogg. I thought that was kind of funny. But the truth is, in hyper sellers markets like this, the temptation is great for a seller to say, hey, why should I hire an agent, pay him all this commission money when I can just do this myself? Okay, that's fine. But here are 3 mistakes you may be making. Number 1, pricing. I know it seems crazy to say this, but I still see some sellers that are mispricing their homes, both underpricing and overpricing. I'm seeing professional agents underprice houses, much less sellers. I'm seeing sellers overprice houses, and here's the deadly thing about a hyper sellers market. If your house doesn't sell in like 2 days, everybody asks, well, what's wrong with it? So even if you overprice it just a little bit and people start asking, what's wrong with this house? It's lasted on the market 2 whole weeks. I know that sounds crazy. You can damage the reputation of your house by doing that. The number 2 thing I see sellers making a mistake when they're for sale by owner is they're accepting really crazy and really vague contingencies from buyers. I've heard multiple accounts of for sale by owners. They come and they get an offer and they get a contract within the first day. They're really excited. And then they realize what has happened. The buyer is just kind of throwing a big number out there and sort of what we used to call in commercial real estate, locking it up for a while and letting them do their due diligence. In other words, they're throwing a big, huge number out on the contract, getting a home under contract and then piddling around for like 45 days and then backing out of the contract once they decide that it didn't meet their expectations. So FSBOs, don't be locked up with really vague contingencies. If you're an agent, you know, you've been through this game many, many, many times, and you know which contingencies to accept, and you know if you're going to accept a contingency, how to make it very defined so the buyer has a very defined time in which they can do all their due diligence. And the number 3 mistake I see sellers making is, I've forgotten it. And the number 3 mistake that I see for sale by owner sellers making is they pay way too much in closing costs. I was talking with one seller that was telling me what they did and what they paid for in closing costs. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, why did they do that? I mean, you're in a hyper sellers market. There are certain things you don't need to pay for. But the thing they said was, well, you know, that's standard. It's standard to pay for blah, 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 whatever they pay for. And I'm thinking, in Alabama, there's no such thing as a standard. Every contract is negotiable. All parts of your contract are negotiable, so there is no standard. Now, if somebody gives me a crazy high price and actually closes, and I'd be willing to pay for some closing costs, but having been through this game hundreds of times and seeing this on upswings and downswings, those are some of the mistakes that I see sellers making right now. If you are a seller, if you're a property owner here and are wondering, hey, what's my property worth? Or you're considering selling, please give me a call. I can help you out with this kind of stuff. I'm John Coley with Lake Martin Voice Realty, and I've helped sellers just like you make great decisions for their property, and I'd love to help you too. Thanks.